It is time for the second installment of Cain's Jawbone. I did the first episode of Cain's Jawbone about 2 weeks ago, so you can watch that first if you want to. Cain's Jawbone itself is like a murder mystery, very big literary personality, like millions of outcomes, and you kind of have to guess the right one because there are 6 murders and you have to solve them over a cycle of 100 pages. And not a lot of people have guessed the answer. I did the first episode where I kind of tried to figure out the storylines, which kind of didn't really work, sort of. And then I shared a bunch of clues about things that I thought or that I read that I think were very important. So this a page which you can see is that I've circled around names and places and kind of underlined everything that I felt was important. So what we're going to say about these pages is that I'm going to go through a stack of them and just kind of research all the clues that I found, because I did a little bit of research last time, and that's when I realized that one of the murders seems to have something to do with, I believe it was Majorca, one of the islands in the Mediterranean Sea, because there were kind of a few clues alluding to it. I'm gonna go to, I think, maybe 1/3 of the stack this time, trying to figure out some of the clues. If you want to know, right here, this is one that says UK, which are all storylines that have a little bit of clues or allusions to the UK. And I felt like, hey, one of the murders might take place in the UK. I figured out, I think last time, that it was 2 of the 6. Now look, is English my first language? No. Does that add a level of difficulty, excitement to it? Yes. But I also feel like it might mean that they're not 6 murderers, but maybe less. Yes. So this is gonna be the pages that we're gonna work with. I feel like this is 1/3. We're gonna look at all the clues. I'm gonna write them down. I'm gonna share it with you guys and see what's going on, and trying to figure out this impossible puzzle, because I'm invested now and I want to know more. There are about 2 murders in the UK. I think one is England, one is in Scotland, which is something that I figured out through a few clues the last time. So we're gonna continue on this. So I'm gonna go through this stack first of the UK and trying to figure it out. So I'm gonna probably write down the page and all the clues, and that way I can maybe sort them into an order. Who knows? I'm really spitballing. I have no real structure to it. Then what I just try. Join me on this ride of trying to figuring this out. And the key word being trying. We're gonna start off with page 43 out of 100. Okay, so the first clue that I have underlined is she accepts the lover's delight from me. And lover's delight is in capital, it has capital letters. And I was like, no, it seems like a clue, and I have no idea what lover's delight is. So I just typed in lover's delight, and one of the first things that comes up is a cocktail, which is possible. Now, this is a very long sentence, and I've also known but she urges me to make trial of a banana split. Is this the dessert that we're talking about? Or is there a cocktail that is called banana split? Okay, so I had the first 2 clues, which is lover's delight and banana split, which are both a cocktail and a dessert option. So lover's delight is kind of like a sundae, but it's apparently was really big in the 1930s, and this was written in 1934. So we kind of have to work with that, and I think the banana split, ultimate classic, I think we're alluding to maybe the dessert. Okay, so this is probably gonna take a while, so I'm gonna go back to you guys. I have a multitude of clues. We're gonna talk about it, and then we're gonna see what's going on. Maybe, hopefully. I did 1 page, so I'm gonna show you a little bit of what is going on. This is what it looks like right now. I went through all of these where I thought it was names. So we had clues. And I'm gonna share them a little bit with you because I got very excited about when I picked up the second page. I was like, oh, I'm not as stupid as I thought I was. Which is nice to be shown. Or like vicariously told through a book of over almost 100 years ago. One of the first ones has like talks about lover's delight and a banana split, and I was like, that was like the first clue that I just spent way too much time on. Then I take the next page. You know what it says? I ordered Charles to spare no expense in confecting that sundae known as lover's delight. Sundae ice cream. And they were like on top of each other. It's like they do belong in the same pile and storyline. Like, that I get so enthusiastic about this tells you enough about how I don't understand any of the I mean, I understand some of the clues, it just make no sense because I did one page. And as the second one, I'm just very happy that they are in the same pile talking about the same thing. So these are even close within the story, if that makes sense. Anyways, got very excited. Back to business. Other clues that I'm gonna talk to you very briefly about because I just got outside and I was like, I'm gonna show you. Okay, so we now have these notes. As you can see, I was talking here about like the cocktails and the ice cream. Then here it talks about Aki and Donna. I was like, oh, those are names, but they're character names of the book 39 Steps by John Buchan, which was already written at the time. We had to check. And it's a murder mystery book, which the main character, Richard Hannay, returns from South Africa to London and is then blamed by an American and flees to Scotland because he didn't commit the murder. And that's like, who did it? And they're trying to get him. And apparently it's a very spectacular book. Then it talks about like, what does it say? Where would my income be if Aquarius were to turn Gemini? Look, I know that those are star signs. That's kind of where my knowledge ends. Look, I am trying to understand it more. It's just not really happening. Anyways, Aquarius is from the end of January to and goes into February. Gemini, 21st of June up until end of July. I was like, okay, I thought maybe it's the turn of this season. Or that's not happening because Aquarius is very much winter. And the Gemini actually starts at the beginning of summer, if we're talking Northern Hemisphere. Naturally, I do apply the Northern Hemisphere seasonal calendar to it, given the fact that it was written in the UK in the 1930s, and it plays itself out, or says that it plays itself out within the UK. Then we came across a few words that I didn't know, and one of them was vermilion. Well, I was like, I think it's a red. It's a red. It's a pigment of red. But it's a red pigment made from mercury sulfide. Which I was like, that sounds like it could be used, or mercury could be used to poison people. So that might be interesting. That might be the clue. I don't know. Like, at this point, it's kind of like, I don't know. I just write everything down. It could be a clue. I don't know. And then it also talks about station between King's Cross and Edinburgh, so I looked it up. I was like, well, if I want to go from King's Cross Station, London, to Edinburgh. And lo and behold, one of them is called Darlington, and like this lady is talking very fondly of her crush. I was like, maybe she means say Darlington. Berwick upon Tweed, and I was like, maybe he wears tweed. I don't know. It could be. And there's also like Newcastle and York, but I just don't really know how that's gonna relate to anything. So that might be fun. And then the last one, there was like a drone pipe, and for some reason my brain was like, didgeridoo. Like, I don't know how to make sense in a story that plays itself in the UK, but I was like, didgeridoo. No. Drone pipe is a pipe of the bagpipe that is tuned to produce a single continuous tone. I was like, Scotland. You know what? That makes more sense. So I think that even though it's UK, I think this relates itself more to Scotland and England. But other than that, I don't know. So that's kind of what it looks like for me. Like, I just write everything down, put a small few notes on here, and try to figure out who's POV it's from. This is from a male POV that I know. Like, I go down and he mentions on this page that his name's Alexander. So we're gonna go with that. We're just gonna keep his name on Alexander, and it's like places, it's England and Scotland, both are kind of mentioned. So that's what we're gonna continue to do. I think I'm gonna just set myself up doing this for an hour, because I did a little bit last night. We'll see how far we're gonna get. I will clearly not figure out every clue of all the 100 pages right now. We're gonna continue this series on naturally. So do subscribe if you want to follow along. I think I'll do it maybe every other week because I do want to know some myself. But we also want to do other content. And I have a feeling that this is a series that's gonna continue on for a while because I'm not a genius. Look, there are millions of solutions. I'm just gonna be happy if I found one. I don't even know if it's gonna be the right one. But we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this together, and it's gonna take a while. So yeah, I'd love to see you guys next time. I'm gonna do this for an hour. I'll update you at the end about some of the clues that I've found. We'll keep it sweet and short because you're really not interested in me researching all of these things. I'm not gonna talk you through every page because I don't think that's gonna be very interesting. It is gonna be very, 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 very long videos, which honestly, I don't think you want to hear me talk for that long. Like, you're already tuning in and I'm already very happy. So anyways, I'll see you at the end when I've done this for an hour, collecting clues, and then I'll talk to you later about it. See you in a bit. I said I would do an hour. It's been over 2 hours. I spent more than half an hour per page. Like, I have walked through 4 pages. Just 4. So we're gonna leave it at this because this takes so much longer than I thought. I get reminded that there are like millions of solutions and there's only one right one, and that it's notoriously difficult. And every time I get the win, my brain is like, yes girl, you got it. This is what we're doing. You're gonna solve this. And now like I pick up the next page and I'm like, huh? I will say though, out of the 4, these 3 are definitely related to one another. They have the same characters, they allude to the same places, they have some things that are in common in the clues, so that's great. That means that I have 3 pages of the same story. I think, I hope. This one, although it also alludes to Scotland, I don't know if it's like really real. Like, all of the small clues are just like wilding out there. I'm like, this could be a clue and that could be a clue. I don't know where I'm at. Also, if you think like, what should I read? Like, I want to have a big project for summer. You can do Cain's Jawbone. Like, honestly, this will take up so much of your time. You will spend your entire summer just desperately trying to understand what's going on. That's just my advice. If you have no idea what you're doing, like, I'm gonna spend it at home, I have no idea, I'm gonna be bored out of my mind, but I don't want to like learn things, Cain's Jawbone is gonna be your friend. Anyways, that's it for today. I'm sorry if it's slightly disappointing. My brain's just overflowing with all the clues. Like, I'll talk to you about some of them. Did I tell you about Franz Ferdinand? Oh, yeah, right. My assistant, Charles Day, which is a character that comes by in these 2 pages. I'm like, okay, that could work out because here I ordered Charles to spare no expense, meaning that he's like an assistant, someone he orders around, that he's above. I might add that there's also a sentence here. The finger causing it was, I knew the index of a most skillful hand, one I had commended, one that would block me from embarrassment. So this is someone who's really good at what they do, and they used to commend him. I personally think that it might be Henry, because as we talked about earlier, my peerless investigator, meaning that when we're talking page 60, Henry was still under his command. If we're talking page 9, he isn't anymore, but used to be. I had quotes of Oscar Wilde, Lord Byron. I learned about Samuel Johnson, which is someone who apparently meant an insane amount to the world of dictionaries, he made them matter. Of Samuel Johnson, who also, and here I was talking about like the great lexicographer, which is Samuel Johnson, who tasted lotus with him, which alludes back to the fact that there is a story that Samuel Johnson wrote, was eating lotus and then he forgot, which ties in with like Greek mythology, which is then also mentioned on this other page. The legend of Bellerophon, who is a big character in Greek mythology. And that is like, was the first 10 minutes of this page. Anyways, like this is obviously gonna take a lot longer. Let's just go on this journey together. I'd love to see you guys getting along with me. I wish I could spend and dedicate all my time because I also just want to know and have the guests ready. But we're getting there. We're gonna get to a solution. I don't know if it's gonna be the solution because they very famously said there are millions of solutions. So now the goal is just to get to a solution. We're gonna get there. One day. Someday.